So I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet as possible. We'll see how that goes. I need everybody out there to understand how much of a threat the anti-gunners are right now. How serious these attacks on our Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms actually are. How viciously and almost violently they are coming after your right to keep and bear arms. And I need you to pass this message off to everybody. And I need you to stand up and do something about it and make your voice heard. See, when Nancy Pelosi has the balls to stand up and say that the next president, which unfortunately will be a Democrat, I don't know if that's in 2 years or 6 years, but the president after Trump, whenever that is, will be an anti-gun left-leaning Democrat. Of that, I am unfortunately sure of. When she has the balls to stand up and say that that president, whoever it is, can just enact a state of emergency to take guns away from law-abiding citizens, understand that's not a threat. She's not threatening that. She's laying it out there. She's telegraphing what the anti-gun left want to do and plan to do if we let them get away with it. Just in the last week, 4 pieces of anti-gun legislation were introduced in the House. 2 have already passed. H.R. 8 and H.R. 1112. I'll go into those here in just a minute. The other 2, which I believe is H.R. 822 and H.R. 1263, while they haven't been voted on yet, rest assured, when they get voted on, they will pass. I need you to understand that the last time anti-gun legislation passed in the House was in 1998, 21 years ago. What has kept that from happening in the last 2 decades? They've been scared of us. Now they're not anymore. Now they're being open and blatant and saying they want to take your guns away. They don't care about your Second Amendment right to defend against tyranny. They don't care about your ability to go hunting. They don't care about your ability to defend yourself in your home or in your car or anywhere. They don't care. They want control. They need to take the guns. They are going after your guns. Period. Understand how serious this is. And please don't start with the whole, oh, Trump will veto it. Oh, the Senate, well, never pass it there. All it takes is a couple Republicans in the Senate to flip-flop. That's it. Do you really trust our politicians in the Senate that much? Do you really trust Donald Trump, the guy who said, take the guns away first and then the due process later? Or who said he was on board with no fly, no buy? Or who said he was on board with red flag laws? Do you think he's really the guy that's going to protect your Second Amendment rights? He's a New York Democrat who decided to become conservative and Republican just so he could run for president. You trust him with your gun rights? No. No. This is not a laughing matter. This is serious. H.R. 8, universal background checks for all. That means even somebody like myself, who on a state level here in Texas went through far more stringent background check to get my license to carry, and I have to maintain that level of ability to pass a background check. I mean, they took fingerprints, they're taking pictures, they're checking everything in my history all the way back to when I was a baby, right? They damn near took DNA from me, okay? Now, up to this point, I've always been able to bypass the federal background check because I passed a more stringent state-level background check. Not anymore. Not anymore. And you think the days where you can go and buy, I don't know, a handful of lowers or a couple of guns at a time and only pass one background check? Not under H.R. 8. You'd have to pass a background check for each and every one of those gun purchases. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Because a background check isn't attached to a gun. Why would you have to pass multiple background checks? Checking the same thing over and over and over again. Doesn't make sense, but that's how the law is spelled out. Private transactions? Screw that. Your neighbor's being abused by her husband or ex-boyfriend and you want to give her a gun? Not even sell it to her. Just give her a gun to keep in her house? Not anymore. Makes you and her a felon. That's H.R. 8. H.R. 1112? Jesus. This is where they just simply delay your ability to buy a gun. It takes the amount of time that NICS has to get back to the gun dealer, the FFL dealer, to say whether or not you can or can't have a firearm from 72 hours, 3 days, to 10 business days. Basically almost 2 weeks. And then, after the end of that, if they still haven't gotten back to you, you have to, through the FFL, petition them to respond. And they still have another 10 business days to do that as well. And they can stretch it out up to 30 days after you have purchased or attempted to purchase a firearm. Oh, and keep in mind that your little 4473 that you filled out, it's only good for 30 days. So if they don't get back to you until the 30th day, and they don't, oh, well, it's been a day late, oh, damn, well, you got to fill out another 4473 and do it all over again. Yeah, that's H.R. 1112. The two pieces of legislation that didn't get passed yet, I believe it's H.R. 822. I believe that one is mandatory firearm insurance. You know, you gotta buy a gun, well then you gotta buy some damn insurance too. H.R. 1263 basically wants to rewrite the 1986, I think it's like the Internal Revenue Code 1986, whatever, basically the machine gun ban of 1986, and say that any semi-automatic long gun, shotgun, rifle, doesn't matter, carbine, whatever, that takes a detachable magazine, which again is almost every single semi-automatic long gun, period, is now basically just considered a machine gun. Yeah, and you got to pay a tax stamp if you want to keep it and register it with the ATF, $200, and it's registered with the ATF. Otherwise, you're a felon. These are all things that either have or will pass, and that's not it. Red flag laws are coming too. You can bet on that. Absolutely, probably age limits, raising the age to buy a gun to at least 21, maybe they'll go to 25, who knows? These things are coming. The next president will be a Democrat. The anti-gun left is in a frenzy right now to go after your guns. Take it seriously, stand up, do something about it. They are on the attack now. Now is when we have to act.